Alex was a collector of quirks. As a lonely bookstore clerk, his life was a symphony of dust motes and dog-eared pages. Then she walked in. Her hair, the color of twilight, cascaded down a dress the exact shade of his favorite worn-out armchair. Her eyes, a stormy gray that mirrored his own introverted soul. She was looking for a book on obscure constellations, a topic Alex had delved into during a particularly bleak winter. He spent the next hour weaving tales of forgotten stars, his voice gaining a confidence he hadn't known he possessed. Her laughter, a melody of all the most beautiful music he'd ever known, filled the cavernous silence of his world. Her name was Luna, a name that seemed to echo in the star charts of his mind. Their connection was instantaneous, a shared language whispered in stolen glances and late-night texts filled with esoteric poetry. She finished his sentences, knew his favorite shade of blue, and remembered every detail of their first meeting. It was as if she'd crawled out of his deepest desires, a living reflection of his perfect woman. Weeks turned into a whirlwind romance. Dates at museums filled with forgotten relics. Walks in the dead of night under a canvas of stars Luna seemed to recognize with an unsettling familiarity. But a subtle unease began to gnaw at Alex. Luna never mentioned her past, her family, or where she lived. When pressed, her smile would falter, replaced by a fleeting look of sadness she blamed on a childhood spent traveling. One evening, while she sat curled up reading in his apartment, Alex stumbled upon a dusty box in his closet. Inside, a collection of his childhood journals. He flipped through, a chill creeping down his spine. On a page yellowed with age, a faded drawing. A girl with twilight hair and stormy eyes gazing at a constellation Alex had meticulously named Luna's Dream. Beneath it, a caption in his childish scrawl. My imaginary friend, the girl who understands. The blood drained from Alex's face. Luna wasn't real. She was a figment, a desperate wish for companionship made manifest. He raced out of his room, heart hammering, only to find the apartment empty. No Luna, no coat, no lingering scent of lavender and rain. Just the silence, heavier than ever, mocking his lonely desire. He ran outside, his gaze darting through the starlit night. A lone figure stood on a distant rooftop bathed in moonlight. As he drew closer, a strangled gasp escaped his lips. Luna, her back to him, was tracing a familiar pattern on the night sky, the constellation on his childhood drawing. But as she turned, a horrifying smile, devoid of warmth, stretched across her face. Her eyes, once a stormy gray, now glowed an unnatural white, reflecting the cold light of the stars that had forever been his own prison.